My husband's birthday is coming up and he asked me to bake him a cheesecake. So I will make a German cheesecake today with Quark and I will show you how this goes. For the crust I need some flour, and my husband had a special request. He wanted to have a chocolate crust, so I substituted some of the flour for some cocoa powder. And I will mix this with some sugar and with some soft butter, or in this case margarine. I will mix this now. All right. So this goes in the fridge now while I will prepare the filling. Now for the filling I use some soft butter, 2 butter sticks, and I will mix it with the sugar and some vanilla sugar. And if you don't know how to make vanilla sugar, you will find the recipe on my blog. And if you prefer to use some vanilla extract, that's fine too. So I will give it a little bit of a mix. Right. And whenever you mix butter and sugar, you should make sure that the sugar is kind of dissolved in the butter, and the butter becomes this kind of white color. That means that you have mixed it long enough. So now I will divide 7 eggs, and I will just use the egg yolks for the moment. And I will need the egg whites a little later. I will also add a little bit of lemon zest, and I still have some of my German lemon zest. You can make fresh lemon zest from a fresh lemon. I just continue to use my German stuff before it goes bad. Alright, now I have to mix this again. And now it is time to add the quark. I made 2 batches of quark and it was still not enough, so I substituted the last 200 grams with some Greek yogurt. You can do that if it's not, not too much Greek yogurt. Otherwise it would become too watery. So I will add the quark in kind of 3 separate batches. So this is the first, and I start mixing it. And now I will add some more. There's quite a bit of quark. the really great thing about making cheesecake with quark, or we also call it sometimes Käsekuchen, quark cake, is that quark, first of all, it doesn't contain any salt, so you don't have to use as much sugar to cover the salt. And even more important, quark has a lot of protein and just very little fat. While cream cheese is made actually really with cream, quark is just made with regular milk, and I made this quark with 2% fat milk. So it is a really safe thing to eat when you have to take care of your diet. And yeah, I think it's even a little bit healthy cake. So I'll mix this in now too. So now I add some vanilla pudding, and the thing is, here in America the vanilla pudding already has the sugar in it. In Germany we don't have the sugar in the instant pudding, so we add the sugar ourselves, which gives us a lot more control over how much sugar we want to have in our pudding. We can't have it here with this one. That's why I used a little less sugar in the recipe, and I will just add this package, and it kind of makes sure not only that it tastes very vanilla, it also gives the cheesecake a more sturdy, more dense consistency. I will mix it in very slowly. Also scrap the sides, making sure that this is really going everywhere. So in my next step I have to scramble the egg whites, and since I only have one bowl for my KitchenAid, I have to put this into a different bowl now. And in order to get the egg whites really stiff, it is very important that I clean this bowl very good so it's free of any fat and also free of any dish cleaner. So otherwise that might become a failure. That's very important. I'll quickly wash this. Make some space here, and yeah, I will just use these egg whites and add them, and I will just beat them until the egg whites are very stiff. This looks good. So I will now mix the egg whites into the vanilla mix here. carefully implemented. And this smells very vanilla-y. And yeah, I can already taste it on my tongue. So I hope you can see how nice and fluffy it is. And now it goes into the baking pan. I will take it out of the fridge and fill it with the batter. Okay, so this has become quite hard. And now I will just add this. And this is not the baking pan that I usually use. So I don't want to fill it all the way to the rim. I will probably make a second one. And I just fill this to like 3/4 of an inch to the rim, so it will not spill over when it's baking. So now I will add aluminum rim around my cheesecake, which makes sure that it will bake nice and evenly. And I have this aluminum rim since a while. I always reuse it. There's no reason to throw it away. Aluminum is very bad for the environment when it's produced, and it's very bad for the environment if you throw it away. So I always try to use it as little as necessary, and I also try to use the aluminum that I cannot avoid to use as much as possible, and reuse it as often as I can. So this goes in the oven, and then my cheesecake is ready. Wow, so here are the two cheesecakes, and they turned out very nice. They're almost a little bit too dark, but I'm not worried about that. So the natural thing that will happen now next is that the cake will sink in a little bit. Don't worry about it. It might even have some rifts, but that will all, you know, once it's cooling and it's cold, it will all kind of stick together again. So don't worry, don't panic. It'll be all good, and it's supposed to be like that. Now I let it cool here on the kitchen island, and later I will put it in the fridge before we eat it tomorrow on my husband's birthday.